What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined today by the man, Sean Petrucci. How we doing, Sean?
Doing very well. How you doing?
I'm awesome. We got spring training games. Garrett Cole actually starts today. So does Jameson Tyone's pitching as well. However, before we get into the topic I do want to touch on today, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. It helps out the channel a bunch. We're looking to keep growing throughout the season, posting daily content, daily live streams. Just stay posted for all that stuff. But what I do want to talk about today, we mentioned spring training is well underway, right? So I do want to talk about three players to kind of keep an eye on the Yankees spring training roster. And the first one, it's the guy, Derek Dietrich.
Of course.
He's the guy over here at Unhinged. Everyone loves him. Personally, I would love to have him on the live stream. I guess we'll see if we can make that happen. But I think Derek Dietrich would be the perfect fit on the Yankees bench. I feel like we talk about this all the time, but looking at the Yankees bench, there's likely 4 spots, right? Because I'm assuming they're going to go 13 pitchers, 13 hitters. So then one of the spots goes to Higgy, one of the spots goes to Gardner, assuming one of the spots goes to Wade. And then I think Dietrich right now is probably the front runner for that final bench spot. I think his personality would fit great in the Yankees clubhouse. He has an awesome left-handed pop swing. I just think that he would be a perfect fit for the Yankees. And I think if he has a solid spring, now, let's say, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but let's say he has an awesome spring. There's even a potential that he could maybe boot Tyler Wade out of his bench spot as well. So I think Derek Dietrich is that guy to keep an eye on throughout this spring.
Yeah, I completely agree because when you really break down who's on the bench, Brett Gardner is a lock. And just sign him and just a DFA. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Why carry a Gardner and Jay Bruce? It kind of seems redundant in my opinion. So when you break it down like that, it's Talkman, it's Dietrich. And when you compare those two, Dietrich plays more positions. He's got the pop. I honestly think it goes to him. Unless he comes out and he has a terrible spring, obviously. But I think it's his spot to lose at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, like I said, I think he would be the perfect fit on the Yankees. We've already seen pictures of him at spring camp. He's the most happy guy in the world right
It
now.
just seems like he's gelling with the guys too. He's been here how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to take this with a grain of salt or not. But they gave him number 12. If he was just an
Number 12.
invitee and they weren't planning on putting him on the roster,
Give him
I don't know if they
73 or something,
yeah,
like
right?
81,
That's
something.
exactly what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
last thing I'm going to say about Dietrich, before we move on, is I think, especially with the loss of Tommy Kahnle, I think the Yankees do need that sizzle.
Like the
Is that a good
bubbly
word?
personality
Yeah.
that everyone, you see him coming, it's like, oh boy, here we go. It's like something's
Bro,
gonna
he's like a
happen.
firecracker. They need a
Yeah, he
firecracker
gets
in that
along with
clubhouse.
everybody. He gets along with
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Listen,
sure.
I think he would be an awesome fit. I think right now he's probably the front runner for that final bench spot.
Totally agree.
However, the second guy I want to talk about is also someone who I would say is in very good competition for that final bench spot. That's Jay Bruce. I'm going to be honest, when the Yankees first signed him to a minor league deal, I kind of thought that was the end of Brett Gardner for sure. I was like, if you're going to re-sign Brett Gardner, what's the point of bringing on Jay Bruce? So I didn't think it was going to happen. Obviously, Gardner ends up re-signing. So now Bruce is kind of in a limbo period. He's not as versatile as Dietrich, so I think that kind of hurts his chances of making the roster. However, he does play left, right, and a little bit of first base too, so that could help him out. I think that's why I named these two guys as the two main players to watch this spring, because I think that they're going to be battling each other heavily. They're both in the same situation. They're both left-handed power bats with decent versatility. Obviously, Dietrich is a little bit more versatile, but if they both have really good springs, the Yankees have a really tough decision to make.
They do, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say I don't think there's a chance that Jay Bruce makes it.
Really,
I think the only chance is if Derek Dietrich comes out and he just looks terrible. I think that, like I just said, having Gardner and Bruce, it's obviously Bruce has more power, but when you compare it to Dietrich, it's the versatility. I just don't think he has a place, and I believe he also has an opt out of his deal on the 25th. So let's say
yeah.
it's up to him. It might not even be up to the Yankees. It might be up to Jay Bruce. I mean, when we brought him in, he's probably thinking, maybe I'm the Brett Gardner replacement. Then you bring Brett Gardner back, and maybe he's thinking, what's my spot on this team? Let me go try to play somewhere else where I can actually play. He's a veteran. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, Jay Bruce, I know he had a down season last year, but the dude's a quality hitter, and a lot of people.
He's a good veteran hitter.
he's also like decent in the field too. Like he's not like atrocious. I think when a lot of people picture Jay Bruce just because he's been in the league for so long, they're picturing him being like a 40-year-old like DH only guy.
I'll be honest. That's kind of what I didn't think 40, but I thought high 30s. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I probably thought 36, 35. I didn't think he was 32 or 33, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, he has a solid arm too. I mean, Jay Bruce definitely like isn't a guy that we should be sleeping on at all. But
Mm.
like looking at that final bench spot for the Yankees, I would say the two guys to watch right now are definitely Derek Dietrich and Jay Bruce. Obviously, you have like Miguel Andujar, Mike Talkman, who actually hit a bomb yesterday in the first spring training game.
That's what I'm
A
saying.
nuke, complete nuke.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on like Mike Ford. It's gonna be interesting, but I still think Derek Dietrich and Jay Bruce are those two guys. Moving on to the third guy, I kind of want to discuss as being a player to watch. That's Nick Nelson. Nick Nelson, reliever, made his debut with the Yankees in 2020. Didn't really impress too much with his stats, but like with the eye test, he definitely showed some sort of potential. And I think going into the future, he could definitely be an arm that the Yankees rely on heavily in the bullpen. I think the key with Nick Nelson is what the Yankees saw out of him in the postseason. So I believe it was game 2 against the Rays, maybe game 3.
It was a blowout game.
Yeah,
Whatever one that
the
was.
Yankees just threw in Nick Nelson for 2 innings. And honestly, he was the only pitcher that night who did well. I think he gave the Yankees like 2 solid innings, only gave up like 1 hit.
Might have been the
But
J Happ game.
yeah, I think it might have been. But I think Nelson just kind of proved like he can be a solid part of this bullpen. I think that if he has a good spring, like he could actually like solidify himself as I could see him being like a Jonathan Holder type of presence in that
Mhm.
bullpen.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's in a pretty cool spot right now because he's proven that he has good stuff. He's proven that he can pitch at a big league level, and he's in a bullpen where he can be the 6th or 7th guy. He doesn't have to be, like your two best guys are down. Now we got to throw Nick Nelson. It's like he's not gonna have too many high leverage situations. He can get comfortable. He can really use his stuff, and maybe down the road he can get that higher leverage spot.
Yeah. I mean, also, I mentioned Nick Nelson as kind of the player to watch, like bullpen wise, because I think there's going to be a very interesting battle as far as the bullpen goes this spring. We saw the Yankees have invited numerous arms. Now we're talking guys like Adam Warren, Yankee legend, Adam Warren, Asher Wojciechowski,
Yep.
Kyle Barraclaw, Nick Goody, Tyler Lyons, Nestor Cortez Jr. So looking at like that group of guys who all have potential to be up on the bullpen at some point this season, I think Nick Nelson stands out as being kind of like the top of the line among that group because
I agree.
I don't like kind of solidify himself as like a Luis Sessa or like a Loizaga even at this point. I think I put him in that group, but at the very top. I think he has a very good chance of making the opening day bullpen, and especially if he has a good spring, I think he's a guy to watch for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know if he has options? I'm
He
sure he
probably
does.
does. Yeah,
So
because
even then, maybe he has a good spring, and it's like it's not a fit now. Get better in the minors. There's nothing wrong with that. No, so
yeah,
because like I said before, he'd be at the back end of the bullpen, so he's not like a really important guy. So even if he has a good spring, I could still see the Yankees saying, "Go get more seasoned
yeah.
pitch."
I mean, also before we do wrap things up today, I want to give like an honorable mention as far as a player to watch this spring, and I think that guy's going to be Tyler Wade. And I'm saying that in the circumstances of if Tyler Wade has a really bad spring and like he still can't even touch the ball, and Derek Dietrich and Jay Bruce both completely mash, don't be surprised if we see Tyler Wade sent down and Derek Dietrich and Jay Bruce both find a way on the bench this season. And Tyler Wade is the key to that.
Yeah, I don't even really know if he has options. He's been up and down a lot. So if he doesn't and he has a bad spring, is his speed and defense really going to keep him in the majors this long? We're
I don't
coming
know.
up on these years where you've been in the majors multiple times, you've had multiple at bats, and you haven't proven anything.
Yeah,
You're gonna
it'll
get to the
definitely
point
be
where
interesting.
the grace period is going to be over. It's going to say, "Go do your thing somewhere else."
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Also, guys, keep an eye out on Gary Sanchez. I know he didn't look too good in the first game, but I mean, still keep an eye on him. Like, I still have faith in Gary. I guess we'll have to wait and see for him. But regardless, it's going to be a very entertaining spring. A lot of positional
Battles
battles,
everywhere.
a lot of
Everywhere.
young guys, a lot of guys coming back from injuries. It's going to be fun. So stay tuned to Unhinged Yankees, all kinds of content throughout spring training. We're doing daily pre-games, post-games, live streams, daily recorded episodes. Just stay tuned for all kinds of content from us. Really appreciate you all. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We'll see you next time. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.